All right, guys, Ragged Dick, chapter 25. 25, excuse me. Ragged Dick, chapter 20. Double X, XX. 9 months later. Chapter number 20, 9 months later. The next morning, Fosdick rose early, put on his new suit, and after getting breakfast, set out for the Broadway store in which he had obtained a position. He just got a job. He felt his little blacking box in the room, or he left his little blacking box in the room. It'll do to brush my own shoes, he said. Who knows, but I may have to come back to it again. No danger, said Dick. I'll take care of the feet, and you'll have to look after the heads now you're in a hat store. I wish you had a place too, said Fosdick. I don't know enough yet, said Dick. Wait till I've graduated and can put AB after your name. What's that? It stands for Bachelor of Arts. It's a degree that students get when they graduate from college. Oh, said Dick. I didn't know, but it meant a bootblack. I can put that after my name now. Wouldn't Dick Hunter AB sound tip-top? I must be going, said Fosdick. It won't do for me to be late the very first morning. That's the difference between you and me, said Dick. I'm my own boss, and there ain't no one to find fault with me if I'm late, but I might as well be going too. There's a gent as comes down to his store pretty early that generally wants a shine. The two boys parted at the park. Fosdick crossed it and proceeded to the hat store while Dick, hitching up his pants, began to look about him for a customer. It was seldom that Dick had to wait long. He was always on the alert, and if there was any business to do, he was always sure to get his share of it. He had now a stronger inducement than ever to attend strictly to business, his little stock of money in the savings bank having been nearly exhausted by his liberality to his roommate. He determined to be as economical as possible, and moreover to study as hard as he could, that he might be able to follow Fosdick's example and obtain a place in a store or counting room. As there were no striking incidents occurring in our hero's history within the next 9 months, I propose to pass over that period and recount the progress he made in that time. Fosdick was still at the hat store, having succeeded in giving perfect satisfaction to Mr. Henderson. His wages had just been raised to $5 a week. He and Dick still kept house together at Mrs. Mooney's lodging house and lived very frugally, so that both were able to save up money. Dick had been unusually successful in business. He had several regular patrons who had been drawn to him by his ready wit and quick humor, and from two of them he had received presents of clothing, which had saved him any expense on that score. His income had averaged quite $7 a week in addition to this. Of this amount, he was now obliged to pay $1 weekly for the room which he and Fosdick occupied, but he was still able to save one half the remainder. At the end of 9 months, therefore, or 39 weeks, it will be seen that he had accumulated no less a sum than $117. Dick may be excused for feeling like a capitalist when he looked at the long row of deposits in his little bank book. There were other boys in the same business who had earned as much money, but they had had little care for the future and spent as they went along, so that few could boast a bank account, however small. You'll be a rich man sometime, Dick, said Henry Fosdick one evening. I don't know why this. You'll be a rich man sometime, Dick, said Henry Fosdick one evening. And live on Fifth Avenue, said Dick. Perhaps so. Stranger things have happened. Well, said Dick, if such a misfortune should come upon me, I should bear it like a man. When you see a Fifth Avenue mansion for sale for $117, just let me know and I'll buy it as an investment. 250 years ago, you might have bought one for that price, probably. Real estate wasn't very high among the Indians. Just my luck, said Dick. I was born too late. I ought to have been an Indian and lived in splendor on my present capital. I'm afraid you have found your present business rather unprofitable at that time. But Dick had gained something more valuable than money. He had studied regularly every evening, and his improvement had been marvelous. He could now read well, write a fair hand, and had studied arithmetic as far as interest. Besides this, he had obtained some knowledge of grammar and geography. If some of my boy readers who have been studying for years and got no farther than this should think it incredible that Dick, in less than a year, and studying evenings only, should have accomplished it, they must remember that our hero was very much in earnest in his desire to improve. He knew that in order to grow up respectable, he must be well advanced, and he was willing to work. But then the reader must not forget that Dick was naturally a smart boy. His street education had sharpened his faculties and taught him to rely upon himself. He knew that it would take him a long time to reach the goal which he had set before him, and he had patience to keep on trying. He knew that he had only himself to depend upon, and he determined to make the most of himself, a resolution which is the secret of success in 9 cases out of 10. Dick, said Fosdick one evening after they had completed their studies, I think you'll have to get another teacher soon. Why? Asked Dick in some surprise. Have you been offered a more lucrative position? No, said Fosdick, but I find I have taught you all I know myself. You are now as good as a scholar as I am. Is that true? Said Dick eagerly, a flush of gratification coloring his brown cheek. Yes, said Fosdick, you made wonderful progress. I propose now that evening schools have begun, that we join one and study together through the winter. All right, said Dick, I'd be willing to go now. But when I first began to study, I was ashamed to have anybody know that I was so ignorant. Do you really mean, Fosdick, that I know as much as you? Yes, Dick, it's true. Then I've got then I've got you to thank for it, said Dick earnestly. You made me what I am. And haven't you paid me, Dick? By paying the room rent, said Dick impulsively. What's that? It isn't half enough. I wish you'd take half my money. You deserve it. Thank you, Dick, but you're too generous. You've more than paid me. Who was it took my part when all the other boys imposed upon me? And who gave me money to buy clothes, and so got me my situation? Oh, that's nothing, said Dick. It's a great deal, Dick. I shall never forget it, but now it seems to me you might try to get a situation yourself. Do I know enough? You know as much as I do. Then I'll try, said Dick decidedly. I wish there was a place in our store, said Fosdick. It would be pleasant for us to be together. Never mind, said Dick. There will be plenty of other chances. Perhaps A.T. Stewart might like a partner. I wouldn't ask more than a quarter of the profits. Which would be a very liberal proposal on your part, said Fosdick, smiling, but perhaps Mr. Stewart might object to a partner living on Mott Street. I just as leaves move to Fifth Avenue, said Dick. I ain't got no prejudices in favor of Mott Street. Nor I, said Fosdick, and in fact I have been thinking it might be a good plan for us to move as soon as we could afford. Mrs. Mooney doesn't keep the room quite so neat as she might. No, said Dick, she ain't got no prejudices against dirt. Look at that towel. Dick held up the article indicated, which had now seen service nearly a week, and hard service at that. Dick's avocation causing him to be rather hard on towels. Yes, said Fosdick. I've got about tired of it. I guess we can find some better place without having to pay much more. When we move, you must let me pay my share of the rent. We'll see about that, said Dick. Do you propose to move to Fifth Avenue? Not just at present, but to some more agreeable neighborhood than this. We'll wait till you get a situation and then we can decide. A few days later, as Dick was looking about for customers in the neighborhood of the park, his attention was drawn to a fallow bootblack, a boy about a year younger than himself who appeared to have been crying. What's the matter, Tom? Asked Dick. Haven't you had luck today? Pretty good, said the boy, but we're having hard times at home. Mother fell last week and broke her arm, and tomorrow we've got to pay the rent, and if we don't, the landlord said he'll turn us out. Haven't you got anything except what you earn? Asked Dick. No, said Tom, not now. Mother used to earn $3 or $4 a week, but she can't do nothing now. And my little sister and brother are too young. Dick had quick sympathies. He had been so poor himself and obliged to submit to so many privations that he knew from personal experience how hard it was. Tom Wilkins he knew as an excellent boy who never squandered his money but faithfully carried it home to his mother. In the days of his own extravagance and shiftlessness, he had once or twice asked Tom to accompany him to the old Bowery or Tony Pastor's, but Tom had always steadily refused. I'm sorry for you, Tom, he said. How much do you owe for rent? 2 weeks now, said Tom. How much is it a week? $2 a week. That makes four. Have you got anything towards it? No, I've had to spend all my money for food for mother and the rest of us. I've had pretty hard work to do that. I don't know what we'll do. I haven't any place to go, and I'm afraid mother'll get cold in her arm. Can't you borrow the money somewhere? Asked Dick. Tom shook his head despondingly. All the people I know are as poor as I am, said he. They'd help me if they could, but it's hard work for them to get along themselves. I'll tell you what, Tom, said Dick impulsively. I'll stand your friend. Have you got any money? Asked Tom doubtfully. Got any money? Repeated Dick. Don't you know that I run a bank on my own account? How much is it you need? $4, said Tom. If we don't pay that before tomorrow night, out we go. You haven't got as much as that, have you? Here are $3, said Dick, drawing out his pocketbook. I'll let you have the rest tomorrow and maybe a little more. You're right down good fellow, Dick, said Tom. But won't you want it yourself? Oh, I've got some more, said Dick. Maybe I'll never be able to pay you. Suppose you don't, said Dick. I guess I won't fail. I won't forget it, Dick. I hope I'll be able to do something for you sometime. All right, said Dick. I'll have to help you. I haven't got no mother to look out for. I wish I had. There was a tinge of sadness in his tone as he pronounced the last four words, but Dick's temperament was sanguine, and he never gave way to unavailing sadness. Accordingly, he began to whistle as he turned away, only adding, I'll see you tomorrow, Tom. or sanguine. There was a sadness in his tone. The $3 which Dick had handed to Tom Wilkins were his savings for the present week. It was now Thursday afternoon. His rent, which amounted to $1, he expected to save out of the earnings of Friday and Saturday. In order to give Tom the additional assistance he had promised, Dick would be obliged to have recourse to his bank savings. He would not have ventured to transfer upon it for any other reason but this, but he felt that it would be selfish to allow Tom and his mother to suffer when he had it in his power to relieve them. But Dick was destined to be surprised, and that in a disagreeable manner, when he reached home. Hmm. I don't know what's going to happen. I already see the title of the next chapter.